Well, I think that's subjective, but to me, like, it means emotional music. I go to things like Elliott Smith, and like, not so much like in my opinion, like shitty screamo music from the early 2000s. You know what I mean? There's good screamo music that is considered emo music, but I think of more the less like music that hits me in the feels, a little bit softer and slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, not.
What are some bands that you would say would be like the definition for you? I know you said Elliott Smith.
Elliott Smith, and then there's this really like funky band. I don't know how popular they are or like how many people know about them. That's not me trying to be a hipster or anything. For real, I just think like, because every time I've seen them, I found them on MySpace back in the day. There's this random band called Moldar. And they're a really cool band. It's like super high, like the tone is really high and they're just like yelling and screaming, but it's like the tones they hit and the notes they hit is just like, I don't know, it strikes the feels, like when you hear those sounds, like, especially for me, there's just certain tones that bands play that just like hit me in that zone. And I'm like, yes, like this is it, whether like for say like emo music or like heavy music, when I hear that riff and I'm just like, yeah, dude, that one riff that just really gets me going, but with emo music, like, so back to your question though, Moldar, of course, Elliott Smith, Built to Spill, that's a newer band that I think not so much emo music, but makes me feel emotional, brings out the feels, Title Fight, that's a band that I think is really emotional, like, I don't know, man, I have to go flip through my records and go through my iPod.
Any memories you want to share about emo music?
Yes. When my dad died, when I was 13 years old, I started getting into more heavier music. And I actually first started getting into emo music. I was in the 6th grade. I didn't really know anything. And I was like, I'm emo, I'm sad, I'm all fucked up. And I listened to, like Drop Dead Gorgeous and shit and all that, all this shit. And that's why, like, looking back on that for me wasn't like emotional music. That was like angry music that helped me like release and like get out my frustrations towards life. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think the memory for me on that is like listening to that like shitty emo music during that time, and like that like quintessential when someone says like, oh, you're emo, like, I went through that and now I have like that perspective, then I also have like the other outside perspective on like there's other kinds of emotional music. Like, learned a lot from those times. It was cool.